Hey, lovely, lovely people. A pleasant evening to everybody. Now, beauties, I was listening to Daryl Vaz, kind of vehemently, stridently responding to Buju Banton's cries and lambasting of, you know, um, the bureaucracies or policies in place. Not so much policies in place, let me say it the right way. His items that he would have shipped off or sent off, that they were missing, and Minister Vaz was saying that when they checked their cameras, when they spoke with personnel at the airport or wherever it may have been, that all was intact. Everything was done by the books and followed by the books. And I've been listening to people, because basically what people have been saying alongside, I suppose, what the minister is saying in a subliminal way, is that we have to be careful of what we're promulgating out in the airways, because everybody's watching us now, because of the hurricane and the aftermath of our hurricane. Because I see a whole heap of people giving us money. I see Pastor Jamal, Reverend Jamal Bryant. I hear TD Jakes praying for us, and that's on the religious side. I saw another famous person giving us some money, sending some monies to us. Some people who you would never even think about to think on Jamaica. And we know Tyrese, many others, so many other people, and we do have President Trump and everybody supporting us and continuously supporting us. It can give a very, very, very bad taste. Not just, you may think it's just the government. You may think it's just the government, but it will affect everybody, which is a very good point by, the different commentators and people. So sometimes one has to be very careful, because he was also saying that, he has, I don't know if he was basically saying that, Buju knows him personally. And I'm assuming that a lot of these entertainers will have the phone numbers, or they can get the phone numbers, and they will have a good camaraderie if they're not friends with the politicians. And he was saying that they talk. It's not a case where he doesn't know. So he could have just simply called him to say, Bossy or Sir Vaz, guess what happened? I sent these items, and I realized when they reached, this was missing, that was missing, so that he could now do a full investigation as to what could have happened. Because a lot of relief items are sent, and to be honest, it does seem a little bit odd. And over the years, I've heard people talking about things being taken from customs and this, that, and the third. But during this hurricane, I don't know if I've heard of anything being missing before it reaches the hand of the purchaser. We hear of when the things are now being transported to the West, or people kind of stick them up in a sense to get the items and to get this and to get that. But in terms of the shipment, it follows protocol, and people they actually get the items that they send off or they ship off or whatever it is. Sorry. What he's saying is that we have to be very careful of what we're promulgating that the world will see, because it will create a bad taste, and it will make us look like, I'm putting in this word like we're criminals, like we can't be trusted. And I am the one putting in this word now, as well as it speaks to a sense of bias and discriminatory way, as well as hypocrisy, that he would know the minister personally, have a contact number, can get a contact number for the minister personally, and not reach out to him and say, sir, I know this is under your portfolio, this has happened, and I'm not pleased with it. And if that is the case, if what Minister Vaz has promulgated, that he has a number, can get a number, whatever it is, then he does have a point where that is concerned. To be honest, people, let us put politics aside. If you know a minister personally and it's something is under his portfolio, you send items to be, and something seems missing, naturally you would pick up your phone and call the person and say, look here, I want to check this out for me. I sent out some things, and I realize it is missing. I realize, though, not only just with Buju, but we live in a world where we like to embarrass people publicly. Think about it, people. It's like people seeking fame and fortune so bad that they find that if I have the best news and the most juicy news, even if it humiliates and embarrasses the country and will create some vitriol and create investors not investing in our country, I don't care. I really want to get popular, and I really want my name called up. So let me push this. I really hope it's not that is not the case again. I am not saying that things cannot go awry, but he has a good point. If he says Buju knows him and has a number for him or can get a number, he could have contacted him. I agree with that. It is like you follow work protocol. If you have trouble with your manager, you don't jump to the chairman of the company to air your grosses. You don't do that. What you do, you can go to maybe after, if you're having issue with us, your manager or whatever it is, you go to the person that is basically a little bit above the manager. If you find that you can't get any headway, if you go to HR or whatever it is, and you need some growth to be dealt with, and you feel that you're treated unfairly, unjustly, and all of that, you don't jump to the chairman. You don't go all the way up. You don't go 4 flights up. You go in stages. So you go step by step by step. The Bible has a principle like that. It says if, let's say you have somebody in the church and they're creating mischief, right? You go to the individual. They refuse to listen to you. They refuse to change. Then what you do, you I don't know if it said you go back to them, but long and short, you carry 2 people with you. It's always got to have 2 witnesses, because you don't want to say one-on-one taking the other side. So 2 witnesses. They don't listen, you put them before the board or you put them before the church. They don't listen, then they can excommunicate them afterwards, because you're going through the channels and there is no change. So there's a principle to go through channels. You don't just go to the highest form. So if that is the case, Sir Buju, he has a point. You really should have contacted him, without coming out like this, because now it's going to seem political. Because there are people who are saying, because you're PNP, why you're doing this? And that is what is being said. So, we have to be very careful, people, because right now, and that is why I'm kind of a bit annoyed of the vitriol, the heavy and the excessive vitriol that I see coming at the Prime Minister. This excessive attack, and people cannot see that it is demonic. It is not good, and we have a crisis at hand. Let us focus on the crisis. The crisis is to really go before God, repent and do all of that, but to be united. God only works in unity. He doesn't work in strife. You cannot be calling on him and then tearing down somebody else. You can't be saying God, God, God and tearing down people. You know what I mean? I said initially when the Prime Minister just came in and I heard people talking, I really thought that people were hitting out against injustices and so forth. But I realized it is not. There seemed to be something hinged on envy and jealousy and bad mind. Because even when it has nothing to related to whatever it is, he's been even accused falsely that him giving small packages. That nobody sees him out. When I've seen the man out maybe the day after the hurricane passed. And hours after he went to different parishes, I saw, you saw video clippings of him. I saw video clippings of him handing out big bags of groceries. Like I was almost saying to myself, Lord, I wonder if I can give the Prime Minister a list to get some groceries for me. The way the bags look hefty. He has been giving out other relief items. And I hear people saying they have not seen him doing anything or seen comments. And I say, people, that's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Lies. All lies, because I'm seeing the man doing this while you guys are saying otherwise. Just constant attacks. So, Sir Buju, if it is that you had the man number and so on, you could really follow the steps, even if you're that angry, because it gives what I heard a lady saying something that it's not a matter of it looking bad on the government, it looks bad on Jamaica, because they're going to say it's Jamaicans are like this. And you're a popular figure, they're going to say Jamaicans like this. And already Jamaica, I mean, yes, they're helping us, but you remember that we have always been in the like a bitter taste in the mouths of many international countries. So if you had his number, could get his number, and you have some sort of a connection with him where you can talk and or cordial, I agree that you could have reached out to him first. If you don't get any headway, and you try this and you try that, then fine, you can come out. I can understand. You know what I mean? Or deal with it a different way. But anyway, guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lines. Follow me on Instagram.